why was Chris Evans the perfect person to take over from Tim Allen, who voiced the toy version of Buzz Lightyear?
Well, I'd always seen this film as being a parallel and completely separate track from Toy Story. And for the tone of this film, I wanted it to be a little bit more of an action movie and a little less of Buzz as a goof who's like not that, who's well-meaning but not super smart. And so that meant that there was needed to be a fundamental like tonal shift in the performance also. We felt that a fresh casting would be a way to show that. And so we wanted someone, for this such an iconic character, we wanted somebody that was had a lot of gravitas and bravado, and also could be funny without being too goofy. And I think that's where Chris was really our only choice on that one.
In which ways, if any, is Chris Evans similar to the character of Buzz Lightyear?
He's committed to the job. Like he's very much like wanting to get it right. He has like a kind and empathetic nature, like I think Buzz does. I don't know. I think that's really the. He's not quite as bullheaded and single-minded, but yeah.
He doesn't have a giant chin.
He doesn't have a massive spherical cartoon chin.
So how do you go about finding the perfect voice actors?
Listen.
Yeah, mainly listen to their voice. I think each of our characters has a very specific, of course, point and counterpoint to our protagonist, and each one has a different purpose and needs to be a certain kind of way. For example, Socks was the temporary voice was Peter Sohn, who's a director at Pixar, and he was so great at it. We decided to keep him because he was really hard to replace.
Well, one of the things is we work with casting, and we send them the description of like everything that we need from a character for, in terms of just all of it, basically. And they'll come back in with 30, 40 possible ideas. They don't tell you who, and you don't, so you look at an image of that character drawing, a sketch, whatever, and you just listen. Because so much of what we think is like the right thing in terms of who can voice our characters is what you're seeing on the screen, not necessarily what you're hearing. Not to diminish what you're seeing, that's all part of the acting package, but it really is about what you hear, right? So it's important to step back and just listen. Listen to the options, listen to, try to imagine that sound coming from the image that you're looking at on the screen, and then you go, yeah, that embodies what I'm thinking about. And Kiki's a perfect example of that. Listening to her voice and looking at a drawing of Izzy was, wow, there you go. That's like the perfect match. She was amazing. Yeah, listen.
Galyn, you've been part of many aspects and projects within the Toy Story universe. What makes Toy Story and its characters so beloved and special to the audience?
I think that the characters each have a core truth that is very relatable. They sort of represent different aspects of who we are and how we feel and how we look at the world. And there's something seeing that distillation that I think is very appealing and approachable to both adults and children.
So what has been the biggest change between creating a Pixar film from 1995 to now?
Everything's changed. It's crazy. I don't know that we had much filmmaking experience at all in '95, and we now have this is our 26th film.
Mm-hmm.
So that's quite a big difference in terms of just our fluency in cinema and filmmaking, and how to use all the different components, whether it's the camera or the lighting, or all of it contributes to telling the story. And I think we're much more mature in our visions for that. And then obviously the technology, it's just radically different. When we were making Toy Story, half of the time we were writing code to place a light or to, I built Bo Peep, and her clothing is entirely computer code. There's no modeling associated with that, right? It's just a completely different way of doing things. Now, our tools are so much more sophisticated that artists that have absolutely no technical background can contribute and participate to making the images that we have on the screen, which is just really exciting because you get so much more breadth of perspective and ability that can come in and make these films now.